Hello guys, and welcome to this tutorial. In this tutorial you're going to see the TI RTOS functionality with CC1352R. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to the simple link SDK examples, go to my board which is 52R, and now I'm going to actually pull up my TI RTOS, and I'm going to start with basically this example here, which is hello. And hopefully I don't have any code hello in there, but I'm going to import it. I see this, there is a hello, but I want to rename this into, say, I have that, so I'm going to put tasks. Okay, and so where do I have it? I have it here. Just leave it as just tasks. Yeah, the hello, that's fine. I'm going to click on this, and you can see here it's just now it's actually using RTOS code, and this guy just simply prints just once. In your console over here it'll probably print saying hello world. Okay, but what I'm actually going to do is I'm actually going to take an example that's specified. I'm going to actually simply now cut and paste it, and then we are going to see how do you run that. Okay, so and then I'll explain it too. Okay, so let's paste it. Okay, so now this is a function that we got. This is your RTOS code, and as you can see, what we're doing is we basically in your main, so this is now RTOS, so it's got a main, and it's just like it suddenly got one single C file, but it actually got two config files, right? And so we are actually initializing the board in this case and GPIO in it, because we're just going to blink an LED, and we are creating a task which we want to call it work task function, right? And we've given it a priority as 1, and these are the parameters for it. So this is your function, and this function again calls in another function which is called like do work, and that function is again turning off the LED, calling for another function which is fake blocking slow work, which is an inline function which is called a delay. So pretty much what happens is when this function gets executed, it's going to call for this delay and this delay in here. So okay, so you're going to get a bunch of delays, but it's just to explain the process. So here we've manually done it, and you can actually see that we've not initialized any of your GPIOs. So therefore, since that's the code, I'm going to go into this guy and say open my system config. Okay, and in my system config I'm going to just make sure my board is there, my GPIO IO, I have to click on it, and that's my GPIO LED 0 is in hello. That's GPIO LED 0 is already clicked in, so we are good. And then you have your RTOS in this case, everything is good. And so now if I'm not interested in getting the RTOS execution graph, then I can pretty much rebuild this, and I should be able to execute it, but I will not be able to look at any of my execution graphs. Okay, but if I want to look at my execution graphs, then I have to make some modifications. That's okay, yep, that's all successfully done. So let's say right click on it, so let's debug it, and you should see, let me just pull up a quick time video. yeah, that's our stuff. And let me move this guy to the end so you can see the video. Here is your LEDs, so that's where it's going to blink. Yeah, so there you can see that's the blinking over there, because it's got a like a large delay that is there, so everything works fine, correct? Okay. So let's stop this here. And now what I want to do is I basically want to also see the execution. So I'm going to open this with the editor, and I'm going to make some few changes here. So I'm actually going to go to where you have your BIOS log enabled. I'm actually trying to look into that. It should be here. Assertion you don't need, but you need at least your BIOS. Yep. So what we're going to do is make sure that we have that enabled. So we're going to give that, and then what we're going to do is kind of disable this ROM configuration all the way there, from there to there. Okay, we're going to disable it. That's the second functionality. And then go to the very end, and what we are going to do is make sure that we are logging everything. So we are actually going to add that, so that our logging is not only enabled, you have other parameters set. So now we're going to say save, and let's come back to this task. Let's do a rebuild. Okay. Just waiting for it to compile. Compiles. Heavy. Yep, so everything seems to be good. So right click on it, go to debug, and then let's say we are going to let our LED run. Let me see if we can. There you go. Our LED is running, but it's like super slow. But so you might see, you might have to run it for a long time. But I don't know, even if you get, I should have actually reduced the the speed of it. But anyhow, so we let it to run for 10 to 15 seconds. So and then come back, go to tools, go to analyzer, execution analysis, and you should see, there you go, we want to see the execution graph. That's good. Let's start that, and here is our stuff. And as you can see, since it's actually kind of, yeah, so it only is able to capture for some time, but that's the task, that is the only task that is functioning, and so it's actually showing like that. And over here you can see it's only captured about 3 records because it's such a long delay, and it's only able to do 3 transitions, which is pretty much the LED actually kind of blinking. But let's change this. So what we're going to go do is go to hello again, and now what we want to do is we want to actually add another LED to blink. So what I would like to do is just again get you the code and then explain to you what really happens. So that's basically going up till here. Okay, so now what we have actually done is, as you can see, we have added a work task and an urgent work task. There are 2 functions. So this is, and then you can see that the urgent work task has a higher priority than the work task. and here instead of calling the delay, we're just basically putting it to sleep. And so you have and then the sleep is probably shorter. And over here you can see the do urgent work will you know kind of toggle the green LED, and the do work will toggle the red LED. And you want to also do is like reduce these guys a little bit, and I think what will happen is you probably see them kind of steadily lit, but that's the idea. So now you have two tasks that you have created, and you've assigned priority to this, and then you're actually making them blink. But then the next thing you also have to do is only go to your system editor, because you only have one that is enabled in your GPIO. So we're going to go do this, and we're going to add our second one, which is going to be LED_1, right? So looks good. And then I'm going to use, I've already used my red, I'm using my green, correct? Yeah, that's red, that's green, this is good. Everything else also is same, because that's only the two GPIOs I'm actually using. So I click on this, rebuild it. I've not touched my config, so it's going to still record whatever it's supposed to record, which is logging functionality. And I've actually made my you know times much shorter. Correct, the delays are being much shorter. So the one other important thing to note is every time I change this system config file, here you have your generated files. So these are the three generated files, and these guys would keep on getting refreshed, or they'll be regenerated. Okay, let's go here, let's go to debug, do that, and let me show you what will happen. Alright, so first we need to let it to run for some time. And so here you can, I don't think you can really see that, because I'm actually blinking at a very, you can see a little bit of kind of flickering. So that's because these guys are actually switching at a very high rate, and they look like almost lit, because I want to show you the different transitions. So I'm going to let it to run for some time, and stop it, and go to tools, go to execution analysis. Hopefully it would have now captured, there you go, it's still good, captured some data points more. You can see it's captured about 19 data points, and here is your execution graph. Now you can see the transitions. There you go. Let me blow this up. Yep. So here is my idle function, and that is your urgent task. And actually for all this time it's actually not even captured the normal work task function. So let me run this for a few more. Hopefully I will be able to capture them. So we have 19 records in here. Let's see how many records it actually is able to capture. Okay, yeah, 40 records, there you go. But at least over here now you can see that it has the work task. It's probably got corrupted somewhere there, but over here you can actually see that's our idle, and then this is your task, which is your urgent task, which is there, and then you can see then it becomes your work task function, and these dips here is basically your scheduler. Oops, lost it. So anyhow, these points are your scheduler, and so you can see how these execution graphs work. And the other thing you can also do with this is you can pull up your tools and go to real-time object viewer, and you can connect this, use the program, connect it, and say I just can open the dashboard, which is overview, and so that tells me, you know, the different characteristics of different tasks, hardware interrupts, and this one doesn't have actually your stacks, and so I can actually pull up the memory usage by you know, there you go, memory usage by function. So this one tells you about usage by the idle task, urgent tasks, not so urgent task, and the interrupt subroutine, so how much they use. Okay, and and then here is your heap usage. I think you can actually, when it runs, you can actually see that. Probably we don't have enough data to show, so you can also save, you know, this view as a dashboard. Go in here, and then you can see you can actually save all current views as dashboard, and then you can pull it out, and so on and so forth. Okay, or if you want to look at anything in particular, like what actually happens when it's idle, so that's nothing there. Then let's say if you want to just look at those, simply the tasks, that's what it is there. We have yep, so pretty much just task and idle function. So those are the two things that you want to pull out. Okay. All right. So that actually basically concludes our example. Thank you.